Tony from her Homestead Skills, and today Ontario is digging out from under what even we consider a massive snowfall overnight, and actually it started very early in the morning the night before. So we received between 15 and 20 inches on average of snow, depending on where you were. And even for us, that is a substantial amount. We are very accustomed to seeing anywhere between 5 inches and 10 inches on a consistent basis in one snowfall, but 15 to 20 inches is a lot even for us. So it did create issues for quite a number of people. I, for one, stayed in, did not venture out, but today, after a lot of the roads were cleaned up, I decided I wanted to go out and get a little extra food in the house. I've heard yesterday that over the weekend the truckers would not be able to cross the border between the United States and Canada if they were not vaccinated, and they would be able to cross, but they would have to quarantine for 14 days, which would mean literally that they're out of a job. Those people are not going to quarantine for 14 days and then go out on another run. It's just not cost effective for them. So I expect that we're going to see massive shortages here unless that gets resolved fairly quickly. So meanwhile, I decided that perhaps just a little extra food in the house might be wise, so I did go out and do a little bit of a shopping. I do have a substantial pantry. I'm sure that if you've been following my channel, you know that I have been canning goods all along, and it's just Mark and I, so there's plenty of food in the pantry. And I still have plenty of rice and beans, dried beans that I've purchased, but we don't eat a lot of beans. But if it comes to it, it's okay. So that massive snowfall created issues for a number of people in a number of ways. And one of Mark's friends apparently had the battery in his car die, and he needed a new battery. So he phoned Mark and asked him if he would help him take the battery out and take him to Canadian Tire to buy a new one and put the new battery in the car. And Mark asked me if I would like to come along, and I said sure. I figured being out is better than staying in all the time, and a visit to Canadian Tire, I hadn't been to one in a while, so it was a good idea. Anyway, when I got there, I got quite the surprise. You know, the boys went off and did their own thing, and I obviously always go to the canning supplies to check that out and see what the status is at Canadian Tire. And I was quite surprised at what I saw. Not at the stock. They had a fairly substantial amount of stock, which, you know, which is fine. I expect to see that these days. They had actually, this particular Canadian Tire was not the one that I normally would go to, but they're pretty much all the same one to the next. You know, they are a franchise, and each store carries the same product, each store has the same pricing, so one is virtually no different than the next. I was surprised to see 2 skids of half-gallon jars. You don't usually see that many of that particular size on the floor, and so there was quite a quantity of those. But what was shocking was the price increase. The last time that I looked at those and looked at the price, they were in the range of $22 to $24 for a case of 6, and they were over $30 today. So I checked around. All the prices have gone up on Bernardin jars, on the Golden Harvest jars, on lids, everything. Wide mouth lids were over $6 a box. So I highly recommend that if you don't have enough jars for the season, that you get out there and get what you need now, because it's likely only going to get worse if stock is not allowed to go across the border, and Bernardin and Golden Harvest do come from the US. Prices are going to increase even more. So if you have a need, get them now. I'm fortunate that I'm okay. I have more than enough jars to cover my needs. But I highly recommend any Canadian, and perhaps even in the US, you're seeing price increases because of the supply issues. So get ready for the fall. Get your stock now. Buy what you can now. And don't be caught short again this year. Okay, I'm going to show you some video of what I saw. And yes, price increases right across the board. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully things will get better. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.